I've applied to over 100 jobs on LinkedIn. That's just LinkedIn alone. Nothing, not even a callback.
Caitlin, a university graduate, shared her numbers online. 647 job applications before finally landing a role.
Nobody will even give me an interview. I don't understand how people are finding full-time jobs. I really don't get it.
Another student said. These aren't isolated complaints, they are the soundtrack of a generation. 2 decades ago, the path was predictable. Go to school, graduate, get a degree, step confidently into a career that could last a lifetime. Today, that path feels like a cruel joke. Job listings are vanishing. Competition is swelling. For the first time in history, fresh graduates are more likely to be unemployed than the general workforce. In the United States, unemployment for recent graduates is at 5.3%. That's higher than the national average of 4.2%. It's the highest ever recorded for new grads. And it's not just America. In the UK, more than half of university graduates are now considered unemployable. In China, youth unemployment hit 17%. In Australia, graduate job postings keep falling while universities continue pumping out degree holders like a factory. The result is clear. A global unemployment and underemployment crisis, leaving millions of young people staring into the mirror, wondering how their future plans disappeared so quickly. But the real question is why? What's driving this collapse of opportunity for a generation that was promised the world? To find out, we have to start with the broken promise of higher education. For decades, one idea has been drilled into young people. Go to school, get good grades, earn a degree, and the world will open its doors. Parents repeated it, teachers encouraged it, politicians promised it. Education was supposed to be the great equalizer. But for Gen Z, that promise is broken. Graduates are pouring out of universities by the millions, yet the jobs waiting for them are shrinking. In some cases, they don't exist at all. 20 years ago, a college degree was a ticket to the middle class. Today, it can feel like a very expensive gamble. The numbers tell the story. In the US, recent graduates now face higher unemployment than the general workforce. In the UK, graduates are struggling in the toughest job market since 2018. More than half are considered unemployable. In China, the flood of degree holders has collapsed the job market entirely. And in Australia, graduate job postings continue to decline year after year. For many young people, it feels like betrayal. They invested years of study, sleepless nights, and thousands in tuition, only to be told the system doesn't have room for them. And it's not just about jobs, it's about identity. A degree was meant to signal talent, ambition, and potential. Now it often signals debt, frustration, and disappointment. So what happened? Why did the value of higher education fall apart so quickly? Part of the answer lies in a force more powerful than any single government or university. A force that is rewriting the very definition of work itself: artificial intelligence. For centuries, people have worried that new technology would take their jobs. Back in the 1800s, textile workers smashed machines they believed were stealing their livelihood. And during the rise of the automobile, thousands who worked with horses lost their roles, only to see new industries born. But this time feels different. Because for the first time in history, we've built a tool that doesn't just replace human muscle, it replaces human thought. Artificial intelligence. Economists once said AI would simply be a tool, helping workers do their jobs better. But AI isn't just another tool, it's the first invention capable of performing general cognitive labor. And that has terrifying implications for graduates. Take Andrew Cole. He shared his story online in a semi-viral video. He once worked for a YouTube channel as a writer. One of his scripts pulled in millions of views. Another became the channel's second most viewed video of all time. And then, he was fired. The channel's owner simply fed Andrew's writing into AI, which churned out lower quality but still profitable videos. Millions of views kept rolling in. Andrew tried again, this time publishing books on Amazon, but he quickly realized other creators were using AI to mass-produce books at a speed he could never match. His skills, once valuable, suddenly meant very little. Andrew summed it up simply: I can't compete with this AI. Every time I build new skills, the bar gets lowered, and those skills become useless. He's not alone. Goldman Sachs predicted AI could wipe out 300 million jobs worldwide. And just 2 years later, we're already seeing early evidence. Low-skill admin jobs, creative roles, even technical fields like finance and computer science are feeling the pressure. One Oxford study found unusually high unemployment among graduates in technical fields where AI is strongest. Some tech companies have stopped hiring junior developers entirely. Instead, they're investing in AI systems that can replace them. And here's the brutal truth. If AI eventually writes flawless code or analyzes data better than humans, corporations will make a cold calculation. Why pay 10 junior workers when one supervisor plus AI can do the job faster and cheaper? Right now, AI still makes mistakes. It still needs oversight. But that could change at any moment. And when it does, entry-level jobs may vanish overnight. For graduates, this is a chilling reality. The very jobs meant to help them get a foot in the door are the easiest ones for AI to automate. If artificial intelligence is the loud disruptor, then economic uncertainty is the silent killer. Because even in industries where AI isn't strong yet, companies are freezing their hiring. Not because they don't need people, but because they're scared of what comes next. Trade wars, tariffs, unstable policies, all of it creates hesitation. When businesses get nervous, they stop investing. And one of the first things they cut back on is hiring new talent. Harvard economist David Deming put it simply, young workers are seen as an investment, like capital, and in uncertain times, investments are the first thing a business cuts. It makes sense on paper, but for graduates, it's devastating. In the US, the official unemployment rate sits at around 4%. That sounds healthy. But for college graduates, the rate is 6.6%, the highest in more than a decade, excluding the pandemic. For the first time in modern history, graduates are worse off than the general workforce. The Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis reports that hiring has slowed to its worst pace in 10 years. At the same time, job cuts are up 47% year on year. Even elite MBA graduates from schools like Stanford and Wharton are struggling to land jobs. If the so-called best and brightest can't get through the door, what hope do average graduates have? And this isn't just an American story. In Australia, unemployment remains low on paper, around 4.1%. But the economy actually lost jobs when it was expected to add 20,000. The Wall Street Journal called it proof that businesses are worried about unpredictable trade policies. In the UK, graduate opportunities have dried up to levels not seen since 2018. And in China, there are so many graduates flooding the market that no one stands out. When everyone has a degree stops meaning much. But there's an even darker element to this freeze. Something that feels almost like deception. Ghost jobs. Many companies now post positions that don't actually exist. They advertise roles they've already filled, or roles they never planned to fill at all. The pandemic changed everything about how we work. For a moment, it felt like a reset button had been pressed. Remote jobs exploded. People could work from anywhere. New graduates thought the digital world might finally give them a fair shot. But that dream didn't last. Today, remote work is collapsing. On LinkedIn, only 1 in 5 job postings are remote or hybrid. Yet those few listings receive nearly 60% of all applications. Competition is brutal. During the pandemic years, the Great Resignation gave workers leverage. People quit jobs in search of higher pay and more purpose. That opened doors for newcomers. It gave recent graduates a chance to step in. But by 2025, that window has slammed shut. Now, employees are holding on to their jobs, companies are hiring less, and the opportunities at the bottom of the ladder have all but disappeared. Even job hopping, once the fastest way to boost your salary, doesn't pay like it used to. Back in 2023, workers who switched jobs saw raises of nearly 8%, while those who stayed earned about 5%. Today, it's flipped. Job hoppers only gain 0.2% more than those who stay put. In some cases, switching jobs even means taking a pay cut. Customer success specialist Joss Fogel told the Wall Street Journal his story. He once earned $170,000 a year, plus bonuses. After being laid off, the best new role he could find paid $120,000. His comment summed up the new reality. No one is paying like they used to. If you don't like it, there are 50 people behind you they'll call instead. This new environment is creating what feels like a throwback to the baby boom era, a time when workers stayed loyal to one company for decades. Except now, it isn't loyalty driving the trend, it's fear, economic anxiety, AI disruption, fewer people quitting, fewer backfill opportunities, all of it clogs the entry-level ladder. For new graduates, the timing couldn't be worse. They spent their teens and early 20s preparing for a world of opportunity. Instead, they've walked straight into a bottleneck. When the old paths close, new ones appear, and Gen Z is beginning to chart a very different course. For decades, the mantra was clear: get a degree, land a white-collar job, climb the ladder. But now, many young people are rejecting that script entirely. Some are turning toward entrepreneurship. In 2023, people aged 18 to 24 became the fastest-growing group of new business founders in the United States. Young entrepreneurship is near record highs. Starting a business is easier than ever, thanks to new digital tools and AI itself. But it's not an easy road. Running a business or even freelancing as a one-man show can be overwhelming. Still, for many, it feels better than sending hundreds of unanswered job applications into the void. Others are heading in a different direction altogether, toward blue-collar trades, plumbing, electrical work, skilled construction. These roles don't require a 4-year degree. They pay well, they're in demand, and they can't be outsourced to algorithms. As older tradespeople retire, a huge labor gap is opening up, and Gen Z may be the generation that fills it. Geoffrey Hinton, often called the godfather of AI, even put it bluntly, if you want a truly AI-proof job, consider becoming a plumber. Physical jobs that require hands-on skill and judgment are some of the safest careers in this new era. But it's not just trades. Healthcare, nursing, teaching, and certain engineering fields remain resilient. They demand human interaction and problem-solving that machines can't yet replicate. But there's a paradox. Many students already use AI to get through their degrees. They rely on it for research, writing, and projects. The strange result? They're earning degrees with the help of a technology that may soon eliminate the very jobs those degrees were meant to secure. Meanwhile, industries that once looked promising, journalism, copywriting, graphic design, even entry-level programming, are now among the riskiest choices a graduate can make. The value of a university degree is slipping fast. In America, UK, and Canada, the so-called wage premium for graduates, the extra earnings you're supposed to get for having a degree, is shrinking every year. Gen Z graduates are standing at one of the most uncertain crossroads in modern history. They were promised that education would be the golden ticket, that a degree would guarantee stability, opportunity, and a better life. But the reality they've stepped into is far more complex. Artificial intelligence is reshaping the very definition of work. Economic uncertainty is freezing opportunities before they even appear. The pandemic left behind a workplace clogged with fewer openings and more competition. And yet, through all of this, a new story is beginning to emerge. A generation once expected to follow the same path as their parents is breaking away. Some are building businesses from scratch. Others are finding stability in trades, healthcare, and hands-on work. Many are questioning the very value of higher education and choosing skills over debt. This adjustment period is painful, but history shows that humanity adapts. When old doors close, new ones open. When industries collapse, new ones are born. For young people today, the path ahead may not look like it did 20 years ago, but one advantage remains: time. At the start of their careers, Gen Z has years to learn, pivot, and reinvent themselves in ways older generations could not. The world of work is changing faster than ever, but in that change lies possibility. The challenge for Gen Z will be to navigate the turbulence without losing hope, and to build a future on their own terms. Because while the crisis is real, so is the resilience of an entire generation.